Was watching a video today, I was listening to a podcast today, and this lady was talking about a strategy that I was like, "Hey, I invented that strategy," um, and I was thinking, I can't believe that I haven't shared this in years, and it's still just as important as it is today. I wrote this doc in 2015. In fact, I'm willing to share it somewhere if that would make sense. But what I really want to talk about today, and what I think is really, really crazy cool, is that this technique is so rarely understood. And yet here was this lady who is top of her game. She gets people millions of fans on their Facebook accounts. She's a social media expert. She was recently on James Schramko's podcast. Maybe I'll put a link in the comments because I do believe in citing the sources of things. She called her technique the bumper sticker effect, which is funny because I used to call mine the t-shirt effect, which is super similar. And it's amazing somebody else came to the same conclusion that I came to way back in the day. So I call this the flag waving technique, and I'm going to share this with you just straight up because I'm not in this market, but I mean, it does apply to email marketing. It does apply to everything related to marketing. But let's just break this down because this could be the most powerful thing you've ever learned about like getting in the mindset of the buyer, getting better results, conversion rates, everything. But this is a social media strategy. And this lady I was listening to in the car on the way here, she was talking about how everybody has a bumper sticker. Now stay with me for a second on that. Okay. So what that means is that if your business had sort of a slogan or a catchphrase or whatever that would fit on a bumper sticker, like I love blank, I'm in love with paint or scrapbooking or whatever it is, high horsepower cars, whatever your thing is, your audience tunes into something like that. Now I used to use humorous examples like, party crowd would love a t-shirt that said I smuggled some beer into work today using my stomach. But on a serious note, like, entrepreneurs, it might be entrepreneurs are willing to work 80 hours a week to avoid having to work 40 hours a week. But it's this thing where people rally around a cause. Every audience rallies around a cause. And so, and within a cause, you have things like sacred words. You have things that matter to them. You have enemies and you have allies. You have special moments that come on the calendar, like hockey fans, it's the Stanley Cup, right? And they believe so strongly in this cause, whatever it is, whether it's, Honda Civics are the best or whatever the thing is, that they will do anything to prove that. They'll share certain things on Facebook. They'll buy shirts and hats and stickers that support that theory. But I called it the t-shirt thing because the way you identify, is this a t-shirt thing, or is this what she called a bumper sticker, but it's the same thing. Would you put this on your car? Would you wear this on a shirt? And I call it flag waving because, I can also see people just carrying a flag around. Think of it as a metaphorical flag, but for some people, they literally would carry a flag around that said, Chevys are better than Fords or whatever it is. And, you look at the John Deere audience or the Harley Davidson audience or the Apple computer fans, and they in their mind don't believe there's anything better on the planet. And your customers have a similar thing going on. Now, they might not be hot for your brand. Maybe one day as you grow it, they could be, but they're hot for something. And that's already built in. Your audience is already there. You can't go invent them. They already exist. They could be like super hardcore organic food lovers, or they could even just be, people who believe that there's a different way of living or doing things, but they have certain things that they believe at their core. And so, if you don't identify what this audience is, who your tribe is, and like what they stand for, and what things mean to them, what sacred words they use, your social media is going to suck. And by extension, your emails will suck and your copy will suck and everything isn't going to work and you won't exactly know why. In a future video, I'm also going to talk about the customer journey and like identifying how you get people through different stages, from the stage where they've never heard anything about your product to the stage where they're passionate, obsessed with your product. and the various mindset shifts and the stages, and like how to identify that, how to help people through that, with your content and with your with your product pages and your e-com stores, because I think this is one of the most misunderstood things by marketers. I mean, we get so detached from the customer's experience that, we just almost think sales happen like magic, and they're not magic. I mean, but I've seen this. I mean, I've experienced this myself. And I think one of the reasons why is because we're not there for the customer journey emotionally, right? Like, when you hang out with a friend, right, and you see them go through meeting a girl, dating her, and like the various stages, you sort of see the journey, you see the connecting pieces and the little bitty steps that, go from, I don't know, just using that same example, the steps that go from, that fun party to the first smile to the common conversation. And you see the connecting pieces, you see the whole story, you can see how it happened, if you're close enough. But when we're so distant from that emotional relationship and from the steps in it, we just don't understand, we just don't relate to how they got there. So a lot of times we look at a landing page or an opt-in or whatever, and we think, oh, we got a trigger word. They open that email more, or we've got a higher conversion rate because, we made some tweaks on the page, but we're not connected to, well, how did that person go from, I have no idea who you are, to here's my credit card. I'm willing to try this. And then how do they go from this thing showed up at my door, I'm going to, take this supplement, or I'm going to try this thing that I bought, put this t-shirt on, or whatever. And so obviously with what I call seekers, I mean, they're going to, you're going to have to work for that buy and that t-shirt being put on. But, when you find Harley Davidson fans, it don't take any work to get them to put on a Harley Davidson shirt, right? And, when you find Harley Davidson fans, if you can get them a good deal on a bike, it doesn't take a lot of work to sell them the bike if they can afford it and it's the right time for them, right? Now, if they love that bike or that t-shirt even, it's not going to take a whole lot of work for other people to notice and for them to become a evangelist of that brand. So I guess the point is, like, when we take a step and actually understand that customer journey, every other piece falls into place. Social works better, email, everything, because we can write stuff that speaks to the heart of the person. So back to the flag waving technique, because that's what I wanted to sort of talk about, because I guess you could say I was kind of triggered when I realized this lady had figured out a strategy that I've been using for years. Basically, your fans have a manifesto. You don't even have to write it. It already exists. Your fans have, things that they hold dear. And they also have a language they speak, and they have sacred moments that they cherish. And all of these things, they're already there. So, I mean, let's just use an example, and then we can talk about like how you leverage that and what we do to get results. So say your ideal customer is somebody who grew up in a household that, that liked healthy stuff, that cherished organic fruits and vegetables, that, cherished health overall. Whether they live that way or not doesn't matter. Grandma and grandpa had a farm. I don't know. It could even be that these people have been through a traumatic health scare or whatever. It doesn't matter, but somehow they've arrived at this mindset or this lifestyle where they believe that somehow Mother Nature has better things in store for us than processed cheese and, sugar-filled snacks. They believe that the garden is, Mother Nature's pharmacy, so to speak. So if people believe that, then by extension, if you were to share on social media a graphic that said, try organic, or like your grandparents called it food, everyone would be like, yeah, isn't that funny? Haha. And, that's great. I'm going to share that because that's so true. It didn't used to be called that because everything was no spray and, no pesticides back in the old days. But there's other things they hold sacred too. They hold sacred, fresh crops, the smell of, freshly opened things, or a super tasty salad. They hold dear, I don't know, maybe they also hold dear canning and recipes and cooking. Maybe they hold dear, just new innovations within the health space, new discoveries about things that are good for you. They could have all kinds of things, but this audience will basically, I guess if you could say, what is that bumper sticker, as this other lady said, but my version was back in 2015, what flag would they carry if they, if everybody carried a proverbial flag or wore a t-shirt that said, this is the audience I'm a member of. These people would have one that said something like, Mother Nature knows best. Or they would have one that said something like, let food be thy medicine. And everything surrounding your content strategy, everything surrounding your email strategy should speak within that thread, because every time it does, they're going to share it. They're going to, what do they call it? Relate to it. It's going to hit them in that place where the content matches their belief systems. And you get to go a little bit deeper. I mean, and then it even extends to your sales page, right? It extends to what opt-in offer do you use, because they automatically resonate with that message, and they'll happily share it, like it, tweet it, whatever, and they'll happily forward it to other people if it's an email or something. And they'll go, look at this guy knows exactly where it's at. This guy believes the same thing. And so if you're new to this stuff and you're like, I have no idea what the people on my, in my niche or what my target audience really would like. What you can do is you can look at Amazon reviews related to the product that you sell. You can look at forums, Facebook groups. You can browse the conversations being had about whatever it is you sell and see the common words they say. See the things that frustrate them and the things that they love. I mean, you'll find that, like, the organic foodies hate corporate America. They hate, they love small farms. They hate high sugar stuff. They hate McDonald's. They love, these businesses that promote healthy foods or blended smoothies or whatever. And they love unlocking new things Mother Nature could do for you that, we've used pharmaceuticals for all these years. But I mean, the same is true for every industry. Every industry has their, Harley Davidson fans or their Apple computer fans. And in that, they have certain things that they believe are, kind of like the Democrat-Republican thing, right? There's literally things that frustrate them and things that they love, and everything along that thread will get them to like, tweet, and share, and wave their flag, show up to a protest, and defend whatever that thing is. And the way we befriend those people is by asking them questions and by sharing content and, and basically waving the flag that they already imaginarily wave around that topic. So Robert B. Cialdini's book, Influence, The Psychology of Persuasion, said that basically that there's basically these things you can do to sort of influence people, and one of those things beyond the authority was the know, like, trust. If they feel like they know you, they like you, and they can trust you, then you're going to get their business, and they're going to do things with you, buy things, join your list, show up on your live, if you ever do Facebook Live or something. But either way, I just wanted to share the flag waving technique, that basically if you wave the flag of your audience, other people will show up to wave that flag too. And that's a metaphorical statement, but it's pretty cool, because a lot of people, they just get stuck on what content do I use, or, what do I say, or how do I get people to like, engage, or even want to be on my fan page or want to receive my emails. And the truth is that, if you are, speaking the right language, you're going to get the audience. They're just going to show up. Yeah, this is just a really brief thing, but I thought I'd share, and I thought it'd be cool. So have a good one.